Good evening. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I hope you've had a wonderful meal and good fellowship and company. I am Cheryl Wilson, Executive Director of VA 250. Thank you. It is a true honor to have you here with us tonight. Thank you very much for leaving everything for these next few days and setting aside some time to plan and collaborate and figure out how we'll do wonderful things together. It is my honor to introduce our first speaker tonight, and that is the chairman of the VA 250 Commission, Delegate Terry Austin. Delegate Austin hails from Botetourt, Virginia, and for those who are from out of state, please put that on your list of places to visit. Quite a charming, wonderful area, and Delegate Austin is a passionate supporter of Botetourt. But without further delay, please let me introduce to you Delegate Terry Austin.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your dinner, and we very much appreciate you being here this afternoon. As chairman of the Virginia VA 250 Revolution, the 250 Commission, it is my distinct privilege to welcome all of you, distinguished guests, fellow planners, and friends of history, to this monumentous gathering. I want to express my deepest gratitude to those who have joined with the VA 250 to make this foundation team as successful as it has been. To Cliff Fleet and the entire Colonial Williamsburg Foundation team, your dedication, hospitality, and partnership has endured an exceptional program. Just give Cliff a Last year was the onset, and Cliff and his team have just knocked it out of the park this year. And so Cliff and everyone with the Williamsburg Foundation, we thank you for your efforts. And I particularly want to acknowledge the VA 250 Honorary Chair and the Chair of Colonial Williamsburg Foundation Board of Directors, Carly Fiorina. We are truly grateful. We're truly grateful, Carly, for your dedication and leadership in leading the VA 250 on a national level. Thank you kindly. A special thanks to Commission members Jamie Boskett with the Virginia Museum and History and Virginia Museum of History and Culture, and Christy Coleman with the Jamestown Yorktown Foundation for their partnership in planning this program. And of course, I always want to acknowledge the incredible VA 250 staff led by Cheryl Wilson, whose tireless efforts are the foundation of this event. So let's give Cheryl and her staff a round of applause. Looking around the room, I see esteemed colleagues such as my wonderful Vice Chair, Senator Locke, members of the Commission and its Honorary Leadership Council, Attorney General Meirez, Congressman Bobby Scott, and other distinguished guests. Your presence is a powerful symbol of the commitment we share in making this commemoration truly unforgettable. So let's give them a round of applause. We are also grateful for the generous support of our donors. Your investment in history, future is invaluable. We all understand that the success of the nation's 250th hinges on a strong public-private partnership. And I'd particularly like to acknowledge VA 250's leadership partners, many of whom are gathered with us this evening. Dominion Energy, Town Bank, CoStar, Centra, Drone Up, Cabell Foundation, Landstar Foundation, Richard S. Reynolds Foundation, and the Gene and Rob Estes. These corporations, business leaders, and organizations are dedicated to ensuring that Virginia's 250 is a statewide and multifaceted commemoration that will bring lasting positive impacts to the Commonwealth. Let's give them a round of applause. And we recently received a special gift that I'd like to acknowledge. In memory of Thomas A. Saunders III, Jared Ann Saunders and family, daughter Calvert Saunders Moore, son Thomas A. Saunders IV, and their grandchildren have pledged support of $500,000 for the VA 250. Tom Saunders' life was extraordinary, and he represents the best that Virginia has to offer this nation. We are proud to honor his memory and his amazing work that continues under the guidance of his family and wife. So thank you to the Saunders family. Friends, it's no coincidence that we find ourselves here in Colonial Williamsburg, where the power of history is tangible. Just as Patrick Henry, Thomas Jefferson, and other founders met here to forge a path of unity, we gather here to do the same. We too are entrusted with a monumental task, commemorating the 250th anniversary of America's independence, a singular event in our nation's history. This conference, a testament to Virginia's leadership in the nation's 250th commemoration, brings together a remarkable group. Over 450 individuals representing 37 states and 47 localities across Virginia converge here with a wealth of perspectives and ideas. Over the next few days, we will embark on a journey of shared purpose, exchanging knowledge, fostering collaboration, and crafting a commemoration worthy of this extraordinary milestone. By working together, united in a common cause, we can create a commemoration that honors all perspectives, inspires future generations, and ensures this monumentous occasion resonates with every single American. And now it is my honor to introduce a true champion of the 250th, Governor Glenn Youngkin and First Lady Suzanne Youngkin. Both are strong in their commitment to ensuring that the 250th commemoration, comprehensive and meaningful to every Virginian. The dedication of Governor Youngkin and his entire cabinet, many of whom are here with us tonight, shine bright. They are understanding the power and the past in shaping our future. Governor Youngkin, on behalf of the VA 250 Commission and those assembled, we greatly appreciate your support and thank you and the First Lady for joining us this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the 74th Governor, His Excellency, Governor Glenn Youngkin.
Thank you very much. Chairman Austin, thank you very much for your kind words and welcoming everybody here tonight. I would like to echo my thanks to the extensive effort that is going into Virginia 250 from so many people. And I would love to go through and thank everyone again, but I won't. Thank you. I would like to point out a couple things. Rather than name them all, would members of our cabinet please stand up? This is a massive show of. We believe in Virginia. And again, I want to thank everyone for coming from all stretches of the great United States of America, all corners, and of course, all over the Commonwealth. I could think of no better place for us to unite behind the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding than right here in Colonial Williamsburg. Now, at this point, I should offer a preemptive apology. You see, I am a very proud and sometimes obnoxious Virginian. And with guests hailing from 36 other states, including 12 other former colonies, I certainly do not want to offend this evening by failing to recognize that there were tremendous contributions from other people besides Virginians. I guess we should talk about John Adams, maybe Alexander Hamilton, possibly Benjamin Franklin, maybe John Jay. But over the course of the next couple days, we will spend an extraordinary amount of time talking about Virginians. Great American heroes: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, Patrick Henry, James Monroe. It is the moment where Virginians, I think, are most proud by saying, "Welcome to Virginia." And so, on behalf of our Attorney General, Jason Miyares, and our Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Earl Sears, I have the great privilege as the Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia to welcome you all to this great Commonwealth. Thank you for being here. See, as we work, and it is work, and I know that, as we work to make plans to celebrate the most important day in the history of this great country and possibly of the world, my heart swells with pride. From the recent visits that I had to St. James Church, to having a moment to be at St. John's Church, to have a moment to reflect on speeches like the great Patrick Henry invitation to get off the sidelines and go to work, joining our other states like Virginians must do, with his impassioned call to give me liberty or give me death. To the banks of the Potomac, where we're able to stand in the home of George Washington at Mount Vernon, where, yes, he briefly retired after commanding and winning the American Revolution. To every day when I have the amazing privilege to walk down the stairs of a home that was procured by Monroe and stare at a Capitol that was designed by Thomas Jefferson and turn to the right and go to work in the Patrick Henry building. This is Virginia. And this magnificent set of reminders sears into our hearts those immortal words of Jefferson that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness took hold in Virginia. And I personally reflect on our history, my Virginia history, and our nation's history. I am reminded constantly by Senator Mamie Locke's comments that Virginia's history is our nation's history. I see more clearly the mighty role that a common cause brought in unleashing freedom, true freedom for all. We look back to when 104 people left England to establish the first permanent English settlement at Jamestown 420 years ago, with one foot in the old world and one foot in the new world. They were instructed to be of one mind for the good of your country and your own. But of course, that idea of common cause was made crystal clear by Captain John Smith when he ordered, "He that will not work shall not eat." We remember the first representative body in the Western world came into being at Jamestown. And while we also saw true evil and the unconscionable institution of slavery come to what is now Fort Monroe in 1619. We also remember that a century later in Williamsburg, the great Institute of William and Mary was established. I was waiting. Come on now, William and Mary. And then still, William and Mary was under the charter of the British Empire, which was called to be a minister of the gospel, instilling faith as an important cornerstone of this community. And almost 70 years later, as we heard earlier from Cliff, Black Virginians established First Church, and we saw the Williamsburg Bray School founded, the only known surviving school for Black children. See, here are the seeds of a more perfect union. Here they were planted, and here they grew. A common cause was kindled. It was kindled while rights were trampled. When Parliament enacted the coercive acts, or sometimes known as the intolerable acts, the Virginia House of Burgesses came together for a day, not to legislate, but a day of fasting, a day of humiliation, a day of prayer for the people of Massachusetts. You see, not half a mile from us, our nation was making the decision for a common cause for all to seek independence. You will go there again on Wednesday. You will go to the Raleigh Tavern, where Virginians, including Thomas Jefferson and Patrick Henry, met and called for each colony to form a committee of correspondence to establish a united front against tyranny. After Virginia, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, South Carolina, Georgia, Delaware, North Carolina, New York, and New Jersey followed. We were going to be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And when the first shots at Concord were fired, the revolution began, not as a regional conflict, but as a collective march towards our destiny. And 56 heroes, 56 men willing to sacrifice everything, met in Philadelphia and signed the Declaration of Independence. It was not only a revolution to throw off tyranny, but a revolution that founded a nation not based on a geography, but a nation based on an idea that clearly had its time and continues to have its time, an idea that we are granted certain unalienable rights, granted these rights by an almighty God, not by a king, not by a dictator, and among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this idea seared into the new American's heart, also a recognition that we were, as Cliff said earlier, a nation that was pursuing a more perfect union. As our young nation continued to chase after that dream of that more perfect union, people across this great country fought again for their liberty and freedoms, from sea to shining sea. How blessed are we? How many days do we stop and ask that very simple question? How blessed are we? That we can stand here less than a half a mile away from the historic Bruton Parish Church, one of the oldest buildings in Colonial Williamsburg. Here we also stand close to the First Baptist Church, as Cliff reminded us. And of course, we now are able to see the restoration of that Bray School. It was only in 1994 that the original Jamestown fort was unearthed. All of this work to fully comprehend and understand the extraordinary history that we are now going to celebrate, but also remind ourselves of, continues. The work continues. Today we can look back and say, we are proud citizens of this magnificent, unparalleled country. It is here, uniquely here, that we see as a piece of living history all of those reminders of where we have come from. Because we can never know where we are going unless we know where we have come from. And it is that reality that should be at the heart of the work we do over the course of the next 2 years and 3 months as we celebrate America's 250th birthday. Yes, today we have 37 states and 47 localities from across Virginia represented. And as our nation prepares to celebrate this 250th anniversary, I am truly overwhelmed. So many people are doing their part. I want to thank my colleagues from the General Assembly. In our General Assembly, we are in fact using the money that Virginians entrust us with to help fund this celebration. $20 million of operating expenses and a substantial amount of capital investment to make sure that Virginia looks as beautiful as she possibly can when we have nearly 10 million people come visit. Yes, Virginia's history is America's history, our collective history. And together, we will forge our future. I have no doubt that this will be a most extraordinary celebration. And I have no doubt that the many, many lessons that we have collectively learned, we will learn again, importantly, so that when we forge this collective history, when we forge this collective future based on our history, we will in fact do it with one basic truth: that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are at the heart of this great nation as we work together to continuously form this more perfect union. May God bless you. May you have a fabulous few days together. And most importantly, may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much.